Hi everyone, this is Anne-Marie from Alma Surfside Jewelry. Thank you so much for joining me for another beading tutorial, and welcome back to those of you who have already subscribed to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I have an Etsy shop where I sell handmade surf and beach inspired jewelry. The name of my shop is Alma Surfside, and I also have an Instagram account which is Alma Surfside 7. So be sure to check out the links in the description box down below. So for today's beading project, we're going to be going over this necklace here, and it could also be made into a bracelet or earrings. It's a very flexible pattern, and it incorporates two different sizes of bugle beads, as well as very small 15-0s on the side of the bugles, and size 11s at the top and bottom, and size 15s in silver, just contouring the outside of the bugles. So you have a couple of options with this one. I've chosen to use two different sizes of bugles, the number 2s and the number 3s. But if you only have number 2s on hand or only number 3s, you can just use those over and over again because of the repetitive nature of this pattern. Okay, so it's really whatever you have on hand, whatever you want to use. Okay, so what you're going to need in terms of beading materials for today is fire line, and I always use 6-pound fire line or 0.006 inches. And the color that I've used here is crystal. Okay, in the very first pile there on my mat are check number 2 bugle beads, as I mentioned, and these are in opaque white. Okay. For those of you who are using, a different type of bugle, maybe it's a Miyuki or another brand, they're roughly 5 millimeters. Okay, so that's a good reference point for you. In the second pile there on my mat are more bugle beads, and these are check number 3s. I've chosen to use the exact same color, so opaque white. And I don't have the measurement written on here, but these are roughly 7 millimeters in case you're using a different brand. Okay. In the third pile there on my mat are Toho seed beads, and these are in opaque aqua. Okay, again, 11-0s by Toho. And in the fourth pile on my mat are size 15 seed beads by Toho, and these are in galvanized silver. Okay, that's what they look like. And then the very last pile there on the far right hand side of my mat are 15-0 seed beads by Toho, and these are in opaque aqua blue. So you can see I've used opaque aqua for both the 15-0s as well as the 11-0s. Okay, so that's why the color is very uniform. But of course you could switch it up and have, two different colors. It's really up to you. In addition to your beads, you're going to need a lobster claw, and I've chosen a stainless steel lobster claw, which is silver obviously, and that ties in with the silver beads that I've chosen in the main part of my design. And you'll also need a couple of jump rings for the closure. Okay, and these are again stainless steel. And in terms of tools, you're going to need some flat nose pliers so that you can work with your jump rings at the very end of the project. And you'll also need a pair of scissors so that you can cut your fire line as you're working. Okay. I also have my beading needle here on hand, and this is size 12 by Beadsmith. Okay. So go ahead and gather all your materials, and let's get started. Okay, so to start off your project, you're going to have your beading needle attached to your fire line, and it's always good to start off with an arm's length worth of fire line. And for this project, we're going to leave ourselves a bit of a tail because it's a necklace, so 6 to 10 inches for a tail, just so that you have enough to create the closure, which will be a simple loop at the very end. Okay. What I'm going to do is pick up one of my smaller bugles, so a check number 2, and push it down on my fire line. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and pick up one of my 11-0 seed beads in blue, and I'm going to go down the bugle bead there, Okay, so I've attached my blue bead to the needle. I'm going to go straight down the bugle, and I'm going to pick up another 11-0, and this time I'm going to go up the bugle. Okay, pull tight on your thread. So now you should have two 11-0s at the top and bottom of your bugle bead. And now we're just going to contour the side of the bugle. So I'm going to pick up a total of 3 15-0 seed beads in blue. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bugle bead that I'm exiting. Okay, right there. So that just attached 3 15-0s to the outside of my bugle. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up 3 more 15-0s in blue. Right there. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the part where I'm exiting. Okay, so my thread is out here, and I'm going to go through the opposite side over there. And I'm going to pull on my thread. Okay, now you're going to insert your needle through the 11-0 that's sitting on the right hand side of your bugle. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to fill in the gaps around the bugle with 15-0s in silver. Okay, so that'll just create a point on each side. So I've picked up the 15-0 in silver, and now I'm going to go up the right hand side, pull in my thread. Okay, I have another gap, so I'm going to pick up another 15-0 in silver, and I'm going to go through the 11-0. Okay, so you can see that we filled in the gaps on the bottom side of our bugle, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so go ahead and pick up another 15-0 in silver and go through the next 3 15-0s in blue. Okay, one more gap, so we're going to pick up another 15-0 and go through the 11-0 that's sitting there in the center. Pull tight. Okay, so now you've finished the first segment of your necklace, and we're just going to create a very simple connector at this point. So I'm going to pick up a 15-0 in silver, an 11-0 in blue, and another 15-0 in silver. Okay, 3 beads there on your needle, and go through the opposite side of the bead that you're exiting, right there. Okay, reinforce that by going through all of the beads that you just added on. Okay, and now you should be exiting the 11-0 that's sitting there at the top, and you should be coming out of the right hand side. Okay, so this is what I mean by, if you only have size number 2 of the check bugle beads, you can continue on using the exact same size all the way down your piece. But in my pattern, what I've done is I've alternated between number 2s and number 3s. Okay, so I'm going to pick up a number 3 next, right there, and I'm going to push it down on my thread. Okay, I'm going to hold it as closely as possible to the size 11 seed bead right below, and I'm going to pick up another 11-0 in blue, and I'm going to go down my bugle bead, pull on my thread. Okay, so the thread is coming out there at the bottom of the 11-0, and so now I need to attach it by going through the other side. Okay, so I'm going to go from the top down and pull on my thread. So now there's one thread on each side of the size 11 seed bead. so I know it's completely attached to my bugle bead. And we're going to go through the bugle right now. Okay, so now we just need to contour this larger bugle, the number 3. So instead of picking up 3 of my 50 O's in blue, I'm going to pick up 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, 5 size 15s on my needle. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bugle bead that I'm exiting. Okay, so that just attached the beads on the bottom. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, so pick up 5 more. And go through the opposite side of the bugle that you're exiting. There we go. Okay, so you can see that we've contoured each side of the number 3 check bugle bead. And now go through the 11O there at the top, right there. And we just have to fill in the empty gaps on the outside of this shape with 15 O's in silver. Okay, so I'm going to pick up 1 silver right there, and I'm going to go down the next 5 beads in 15 O. Okay, now we have another empty gap, so go ahead and pick up another 15 O in silver. Go through the 11 O. Okay, another empty gap, so again we pick up our 15 O in silver. And go through the next 5 15 O's in blue. Okay, and 1 more gap, so 1 more silver in 15 O. And go through the 11 O that's sitting there at the top of your shape. Okay, so that's the design that we're working with. Okay, and I'm going to go through that again. So let's go ahead and pick up a 15 O in silver, an 11 O in blue, and another 15 O in silver. Okay, 3 beads there on your needle, and go through the opposite side of the bead that you're exiting. Go ahead and reinforce your connector by going through all of the beads that you just added on. And step up through the 15 in silver and go through the 11 O at the top. Okay, so right now you want to be exiting the size 11 seed bead there on the right hand side over here. And we're going to pick up a check number 2 bugle. Okay, push that down on our needle. Let it slide until it hits the 11 O right below. And you're going to kind of hold that in place as you go ahead and pick up another 11 O in blue. Go down your bugle bead. Okay, so you can see that the thread is attached to the bottom of that 11 O, but it's not yet attached to the top. So I have to go down the 11 O like that and pull on my thread. Okay, so now it's secure. I'm going to push my needle through the bugle again. And if you remember from the very first segment, we attached a total of 3 beads in 15 O on each side of our bugle. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So 3 15 O's in blue. I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bugle. There we go. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. go through the opposite side of the bugle again. Okay, and then you can go through the 11-0 that's sitting there at the top of your bugle. And now we just need to go around the shape and fill in all of the empty gaps with our 15-0s in silver. So I've gone ahead and picked up one, and I'm going to go down the next 3 15-0s in blue, and I'll pick up another 15-0 in silver, go through the 11-0 there at the bottom, one more 15-0 in silver, and I'm going to go up the next 3 in blue, okay, one more empty gap, which means we need another silver bead, and we're going to go through the 11-0. Okay, always pull tight on your thread so that everything is sitting, as tightly as possible. And that's our design, okay, and we're going to carry on with one more, and then I'll go over the closure, okay? So let's do that one last time, and this time I'm going to be choosing the check number 3 bugle instead of the smaller one, right? Because I've been rotating. Okay, so go ahead and get one 15-0 in silver, one 11-0 in blue, and another 15-0 in silver. There we go. Go through the opposite side of the bead that you're exiting and reinforce that segment. There we go. Okay, now that I'm exiting the 11-0 on the left-hand side there, I'm going to go ahead and pick up one of my large bugles, the number 3, push that down on my needle, okay, hold it in place as I go ahead and pick up another 11-0, and I'm going to go down that bugle bead. There we go. Okay, so I can see that it's attached there to the bottom of the 11-0, and then I just need to go down the 11-0 in order to make sure that the thread is on each side of the bead. Okay. Go through the bugle bead above. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and pick up 5 of my 15-0s in blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bugle and pull in my thread. Okay, so that attached 5 beads to the side of the bugle. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, 5 more 15-0s, and go again up through the bugle. There we go. And then you can go through the 11-0 there at the top. And now I just need to go around the outside of this segment using my 15-0s in silver. So 1 silver there on my needle, and I'm going to go down the next 5 beads. Okay, pick up another silver in 15-0, and go through the next 11-0. Okay, I'm getting low on thread here, but I think I can make it all the way around. One more 15-0, and I'm going to carry on through the next 5 15s. And then there's one more gap, so I'm going to pick up one more 15-0, and I'm going to go through the 11-0 sitting there in the center. There we go, I made it. Okay. So that is the pattern that you're going to continue with as you complete the necklace or bracelet or earrings, whatever it is that you're working on today. And if you need to review any of those steps, of course, you can go back in the video and just go over each one. But basically, if you're using check number 2s, you're always going to attach 3 of your 15-0s to each side. And anytime you're working with the check number 3, you're going to attach 5 of the 15-0s on each side of your bugle. Okay, so it's a very simple, easy, repetitive pattern. And once you reach the correct length of your piece, you're going to create a loop closure. Okay, so in this case, I've attached a total of 5 15-0 seed beads in the color blue. Okay, I've just done, a very simple circle at the top, and I'm going to go over how to do that on the other side of this piece. Okay, so I'm ready to do my closure on this side of my piece. So I want to make sure that I've gone through the size 11 seed bead sitting there in the center of the bugle. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up a total of 5 of my 15-0s in blue. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bead that I'm exiting, right there. Pull on your thread, and you can reinforce that closure by going through all of the beads that you just added on. Okay, and just shape the circle there. And then if you can go through the 15-0 in silver, right there. Go on the inside of your thread or the inside of the piece and tie off a knot. Okay, you can go through the next 3 15-0s in blue. And go on the inside of your piece and tie off another knot. Okay, so I've done a total of 2 knots there, and I'm happy that my piece is secure. So I'm going to cut off my excess thread here, set that aside, grab my flat nose pliers and one of my jump rings here. I'm going to open it up, insert it through one of the loops, close up the jump ring. Okay, on the other side, I'm going to grab the other jump ring, open it up, attach my lobster claw like that, and I'm going to put those 2 pieces through the other loop. Okay, and close it up. Okay, so to fasten your necklace or bracelet, what you're going to do is open up your lobster clasp and insert the jump ring, and so that's what holds your piece together. Okay, and now you are officially done your necklace or bracelet, or if you decided to make earrings, you'd attach the earring hooks and then you would be finished. So anyways, that concludes our tutorial for today, and I hope that you enjoyed making this piece along with me. And I really like how the sky blue, very tiny beads frame the bugle beads. And yeah, I think that the color is really powerful in this one. And you could also alternate, different colors on the side of each bugle. So for example, you could have white, black, white, you know, kind of a stripe pattern all along the piece, you know, outlining the bugle beads all the way down. And yeah, I hope that you share this with other beaders, especially those who are beginners, because I think it's a very easy project to complete, and it's fast as well. Like, it didn't take me very long at all to finish this. And it would also be neat to wear multiple necklaces in this style, you know, just with different colors as a layer piece. So I think it has a lot of potential in that way. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and if you haven't already done so, please take a minute to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need any supplies at all, I'll include affiliate links to Amazon in the description box down below. So that means that, you know, if you do decide to buy something, I will make a small commission from that. So it's a nice way to support the channel. And yeah, anyways, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, take care. Bye for now.